things have changed quite a bit since we last released a video. It's been probably 6 months, something like that. There's been bits and bobs on Instagram and Facebook and what have you, but actually releasing a proper video, I just haven't had the time. There's been too much going on. Considering the situation at the moment, I've been forced onto a full-time working from home regime. So I'm doing my 11 or 12 hour days from the house, which also means the garage is in pretty close call, which is nice. A lot's happened. I've done quite a bit to the car. I came to the conclusion at the end of last season that maybe I'd gone too far. There are certain elements of the car which were really very difficult to cope with in a road driving scenario with traffic and the way that the roads are in the UK. So I made some tough decisions because I'm having to roll back a number of the things that I did to the car, which were hard work. They were difficult to achieve. Part of the reason they were so difficult to achieve was because I had made them so they were reversible, because I must have known that I was going to be like this. I'm glad that it's that way, and it actually hasn't cost very much in parts or in time to be able to reverse a lot of the things which I've changed. So what I'll do is I'll talk you through what's been going on and tell you what the plans are. Let's have a look.
First of all, let's start with this. Oh my word. So the driving position, all that time and effort that went into moving the driver and passenger back by 12 inches and lowering them down by about 5 to 6 inches, moving all of the pedals back, moving the steering column back, moving all the controls back, that's all gone. It was so difficult to drive, so much hard work with regards to being able to see properly around tight corners, out junctions, over crests of hills. It was hard work driving it. Made it extraordinarily tiring. And that's not the whole point of this car. So all the seat mounts are out. We can go back to the original seat mounts. The gear shift mechanism has been moved back to a standard location, apart from the fact I've raised it up. So that's now all on raised mounts to get the shifter up nice and close to the steering wheel. I've always been very keen on that relationship between the gear lever and the steering wheel. So I got a carbon extension on there as well. Lovely. I'm putting the heater back in, so the heater blower's back in. I'll put a matrix in. The rest of the vents will be in there. And as I say, standard pedals. So we've gone back to a standard braking system, standard clutch system, standard steering column. Nice thing is everything just bolts straight back in. So that's good. I've also been doing a lot of work on the wiring loom as well. It was tidy when I started, and then I added a load of bits to it which I'd forgotten about, and then it got a bit messy. So I'm now tidying it back up again. So we should have a nice clean loom once we sorted. Dog's barking. So we should have a nice clean loom once it's started. I'm going to run through this as quick as possible. I seem to be having so many interruptions for the sound, it's untrue. I have made loads of changes in here. Got rid of the charge cooler. It worked extremely well, but it was very heavy. We have now gone to a large air-to-air that cores 5 inches thick. It's going to be rubber mounted. I've got to make some boost pipes up to get that to fit in. Because of that, we've also gone to a full width rad. That's actually from a Volkswagen Transporter T4, believe it or not. The nice thing is the mounts, the inlet and outlet are both on the same side. So that's dual pass, twin core. I've also remade all of the cooling pipes in stainless steel and have an integrated swirl pot, which will feed back up to the header tank at the back there. So this is a much, much neater solution. I've never been particularly happy with how the system auto bled before, and it should work much better now. It's also just loads neater with those pipes like that. It's not loads of silicon joiners and clips and all that kind of stuff. People who know me know that I really don't like joins, so that's all sorted. I have found, I don't know if we'll be able to see it, let's get some extra light on there. On here, I don't know if you can see it or not. Down the perimeter of that weld, basically, we have got a hairline crack. So I need to drill each end of that. I'll do some crack detection. I'll probably do a video on that actually, DIY crack detection. Find out where the ends are, drill them, and then I'll grind out and TIG the crack. And then of course we've got the airbox. Now this is an interesting process. The people who follow me on Insta have been seeing all the trials and tribulations with this one. I made the buck using the foam. Then I thought I'd sealed the buck properly, laid some carbon Kevlar and some Kevlar on it, and then proceeded to find that the resin got through my sealing and started to collapse the buck. It ruined it. I'm denied about making another one, and I thought, well, I might as well have another go at rescuing this one, and actually it's worked out quite nicely. It still only weighs about 800 grams, but we've now got a carbon Kevlar airbox. You can see along the edges in places where it's a bit thicker. I've had to resurface with a glass and resin to make it flat, and then put another layer of carbon Kevlar on the outside. But the result is actually quite nice. I've got to get some clips on that, but it looks pretty cool for Group A. So moving the power steering pump, which will live down there. Water injection pump's moved. A few other bits and bobs, but it's I don't think we're far off for the engine now, really. Don't think we're far off. Chassis wise, the only thing I've got to do is on that rear corner just by my head there, I've got a wheel bearing has started to go, so I'll pop the hub off and press the bearing out and put a new one in. That's a pretty simple process, so we'll get that one sorted out, and that's pretty much the only chassis work that needs doing. So we're not far away, I don't think. Today's task is going to be hitting up these electrics, so I'll put you on a bit of time lapse, and we can watch me start attacking some more of this. See if we can tidy up a bit further. Slightly shorter than expected today. It's been I've had other stuff to get on with, but hopefully we'll have a bit more tomorrow. I've mainly just scoped out where I'm going to be mounting the ECU, how I'm going to be mounting up the fuse board on the passenger side, and where things sit with regards to the glove box and all that kind of stuff, which I didn't have in there before. So hopefully we'll have a little bit more tomorrow, and we'll just keep up the progress. See you later.